Instantly, I surrendered myself to the grimness of death. The change it had been able to effect, and Miss Taylor showed that its strength could not be resisted. Her high-pitched voice, which parted the air in the store, were forever stilled, and the plump brown face had been deflated and patted flat like a cow's odorous dropping. The coffin was carried on a horse-drawn wagon to the cemetery, and all the way I communed with death's angels, questioning their choice of time, place, and person. For the first time, the burial ceremony had meaning for me. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. It was certain that Miss Taylor was returning to the earth from whence she came. In fact, upon considering, I concluded that she had looked like a mud baby lying on the white satin of her velvet coffin. A mud baby molded into a form by creative children on a rainy day, soon to run back into the loose earth. The memory of this grim ceremony had been so real to me that I was surprised to look up and see Mama and Uncle Willie eating by the stove. They were neither anxious nor hesitant, as if they knew a man has to say what he has to say. But I didn't want to hear any of it, and the wind allying itself with me threatened the chinaberry tree outside that back door. Last night, after I said my prayers, I lay down on the bed. Well, you know, it's the same bed that she died on. Oh, if he'd shut up, Mama said. Sister, sit down and eat your soup. Cold night like this, you need something hot in your stomach. Go on, Brother Taylor, please. I sat down as near Bailey as possible. But something told me to open my eyes. What kind of something? Mama asked, not laying down her spoon. Yes, sir, Uncle Willie explained. There can be a good something and there can be a bad something. Well, I wasn't sure, so I figured better open. Because it could have been, well, either one. And I did. The first thing that I saw was a little baby angel. It was just as fat as a butterball and laughing. Eyes blue. Uncle Willie asked, a baby angel? Yes, sir, and it was laughing right in my face. Then I heard this long moan, ah! Well, as you say, Sister Henderson, we've been together over 40 years. I know Florida's a voice. I wasn't scared right then. I called, Florida! Then that angel laughed harder and the moan got louder. I set my bowl down and got closer to baby. Miss Taylor had been a very pleasant woman, smiling all the time, patient. The only thing that jarred and bothered me when she came into the store was her voice. Like near-deaf people. She screamed, half not hearing what she was saying and partly hoping her listeners would reply in kind. That was when she was living. The thought of that voice coming out of the grave and all the way down the hill from the cemetery and hanging over my head was enough to straighten my hair. Yes, sir. He was looking at the stove and the red glow fell on his face. It seemed as if he had a fire going on inside. First, I called, Florida! Florida! What you want? And that devilish angel kept on laughing to beat the band. Mr. Taylor tried to laugh and only succeeded in looking frightened. I want some. That's when she said, I want some. He made his voice sound like the wind. If the wind had bronchial pneumonia, he wheezed. I want